So good afternoon, everyone. You're all welcome to our second Women in Law webinar series in commemoration of International Women's Day. My name is Hafsa Sassia. I'm the Deputy Treasurer and also Women Lawyers Representative of East African Law Society. I'm also a practicing advocate at a law firm called Lois & Associates based in Dar es Salaam, Tanzania. So today I'm going to be your co-host and the moderator of this very special webinar. Thank you so much for being here with us today. And it's wonderful to see so many people who have decided to take their time to join and learn from this phenomenal woman. I would like to also note that even though the progression of women lawyers through the ranks remain very minimal, but it's very clear that there are women who have made it to the top of their careers. So this forum today is offering the attendees the opportunity to learn directly from these women and what have they done to reach to the top, and what should we do to improve in our professional development, in our jobs, business. It's a very great opportunity for networking, business growth, gaining aspirations, inspirations, and gaining helpful information. So without further ado, I would like to welcome Mr. President of East African Law Society, Mr. Bernard Ondo, to give his opening remarks.
Thank you, Hafsa. Thank you for your kind introduction. Let me take this opportunity first to welcome our panelists. Thank you so much for sparing your gracious time to share your experiences with the members, and my hope is that they will learn and be inspired. Allow me also to thank our attendees who are joining in for sparing this time too. Today's International Women's Day theme is actually choosing to challenge. Interesting that on a day like this, we then speak about what we can do to make ourselves better. Personally, I reflect on what I do every single day, what I can do better, how best can I be able to do it. So a webinar like this that gives coaching tips on how we can brand, on how we can build capacity is always very helpful because it speaks to the challenges that we face and also gives us ideas on how we can deal with them. Without wasting so much time, and I'm also excited to listen to the panelists, I will quickly hand back to Hafsa so that we can have the discussion going. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. President. So I'll just go directly to our keynote speaker, who is here to coach women lawyers and share tips that would enable women to succeed in a competitive environment. I am absolutely delighted to present to you a phenomenal woman, a successful, and our keynote speaker, a lawyer turned business development coach who has helped a number of African-based lawyers to build a practice that thrives in creating lives that they enjoy by blending productivity, technology, and legal marketing. Please welcome to you, Ms. Olivia Kirato.
Thank you so much. After such an introduction, it's such a tough act to follow such an introduction. I'm so excited to be here to talk about International Women's Day. And I remember my favorite of all the International Women's Days that I've celebrated was in Kampala. If you don't know that in Kampala, Women's Day is actually a gazetted public holiday. And that's when I felt what it means to be a woman, because everywhere you went on that day, you were treated like a queen. Forget Valentine's Day, it was phenomenal. And ever since that experience, I think that was in 2019, my first Women's Day in Kampala, I always look forward to this holiday. I hope that you'll get a lot of insight, not just from me. I'm also here to learn from the rest of the speakers, and I'm excited that we have such diversity on the panel. Let's not waste time. Let's get straight to it. The very first thing I see in my experience coaching women, and I personally don't feel that I'm at the apex of my career. There's so much more to go, but I do coach women for a living, and I coach senior lawyers and lawyers at different cadres actually on how to grow, how to achieve their potential, how to be the very best in what they do. One thing I find is that we often confuse busyness with growth. It's so funny that the word business is in business development, and sometimes we confuse having a busy schedule for actually growing. Here's the thing, you can be moving and moving in the wrong direction. So here's my very first coaching tip for you. get clear vision. If there's anything we've learned in the last 1 year, is that living career goals, it's not a destination, it's a journey. It's a journey. Where are you going? Get clear, use the opportunity, take International Women's Day and give yourself a date. Take yourself on a date. I'm allowing you to. And reflect and ask yourself, where am I? Is this where I've always wanted to be? When I was a little girl, is this what I dreamt to be? Reconnect with that inner part of yourself. Put away your busy diary and just think about it and ask yourself, am I moving in the direction I've always wanted to be in? Are there places that I can realign myself? Get also clear on what your mission statement is. In my coaching, I know Bernard has worked with me before, I first emphasize that before you draw a business development plan, which is great if you have one, is first ask yourself, what impact do you want to have on your industry, on your target audience, in your jurisdiction? Start being very clear that when all is said and done, Hafsa, if I ever decide to leave this career to do something else, what will people remember me for? Profit is good, but purpose is even better. The way to make impact and to wake up in the morning, because we spend so much time at work, is to first define that when you're waking up in the morning, it's something that's helping you achieve these two P's, purpose and profitability. So remember to take yourself on a short date. If you're too busy, even 30 minutes is okay, but the very first step for you is define what your mission statement is. What do you want to be remembered for? What impact do you want to have? And ask yourself if you're moving in the right direction. I hope we're learning something so far. The next thing I want to tell you is to leverage your strengths, but take sight of your shortcomings. Leverage your strengths, but take sight of your shortcomings. And I want to explain that. A few years ago, I was so lucky to share a panel with the lovely Caritas from Burundi. And I remember during one of the Q&A sessions, I came up with this mnemonic device to help lawyers define the best area to specialize in. Now, I know there'll be some other speakers speaking about this, but this is what I always tell lawyers. It doesn't matter whether you were just admitted last year, this year, January. Here is something you need to remember. I call it COPPA. COPPA. K-O-P-P-A. But of late, I've added an S to it. So it's K-O-P-P-A-S. Let me tell you what K is. When you want to define the area you want to specialize in, you must not be a quack. So do you have knowledge in a particular area? Or is there opportunity? The thing about us as lawyers, we go back to law school and we think, I specialized in these areas. But the question is, are there people ready to pay for your knowledge in that area? So you should follow the market. You should follow the demand. So a lot of us will struggle with our business development because we're trying to sell something that the market doesn't want. If you want to go the path of least resistance, you want to first figure out, what does your market want? What is the need in your market? Where maybe the town, maybe you're not even in a big city, you're in a small town, and maybe you're trying to sell something that is more aligned to the corporates in the city, but around you, there are other needs. It could be something like real estate. It could be something like maybe family law that there's a need. Try to understand, is there an opportunity or am I forcing myself on the market? P is for profitability. Am I going to actually make money from specializing in this area? You've got to pay the bills. Some of us, we even have employees to think about. So you have to ask yourself, in addition to there being an opportunity, am I going to actually make money from this? For instance, for you to measure the profitability you could make from a potential area, think about the investment you make in terms of time and resources vis-a-vis the billings that you will get. There are certain practice areas that you will focus on, that you will work 2 or 4 days and you get such a big check that salaries are taken care of for 1.5 months. Then there are other practices of law where you find yourself working hard to the bone, your family never sees you, but the earnings do not justify the time and the effort that you're putting in. So you want to measure, before I specialize in a particular area, is there profit to be made here? The last one, the second last one is A. Do I have, oh, P, the second P is passion. When I'm 60 and I'm senior counsel, will I still be happy to be known for this particular practice area, or is it an area that will bore me and I will not be known for it? So you have to ask yourself, do I have a passion? Is this an area that I read the news and I can't sleep at night because I see an opportunity, a development? I'm just excited about a particular practice of a practice area of law. So the next one is, do I have an advantage? If it was Maggie and Olivia that a client was deciding between, and there was something that was so special about Maggie, it could be even the university that she went to. Maybe that university has a reputation for being experts in a particular area of law. So maybe it's intellectual property, and I didn't go to that university. They begin to think the fact that this person is an alumnus of X university gives her an advantage. Sometimes it's maybe you are in-house counsel. You know, today we were wearing pink and white. Hafsa, the wardrobe.
Yes, the wardrobe.
I'm among my sisters, I shouldn't worry. These are my fellow sisters here. Okay, so I was talking about advantage. It could be the university you went to. It could be the firm that you did your pupillage in. Maybe they are renowned for being very good in a particular practice area, and that becomes a strength of yours because you passed through there. So it could be your university. For some of you, it could be connections. Maybe you were in-house counsel. Maybe it was in a bank, and now you're trying to specialize in financial services. That's an advantage for you. If you've been in-house counsel, maybe in one of the top banks in your jurisdiction, there's something there that you've had in terms of the hands-on experience of being on the client side that gives you an advantage. So KOPPA, the last one that I recently added this year is S. This is because even in my own life, I coach from experience, I coach from my own journey. I do not just coach from the career experience I get hands-on by doing BD. There's one thing that many women we struggle with, is knowing our blind spots. I think I need to pause there for dramatic effect. Let me pause so that you absorb that. To grow your career, you need to be self-aware. You need to be self-aware and see what other people see in you and what are the things that are holding you back. You may have great goals. You can even pay someone like me a lot of money, but maybe there's some obstacles you put in your own way. I'm not talking about the way you were created. It doesn't matter whether, whether you're religious or not, but I'm talking about things that you do that put you at a disadvantage. We talked about an advantage. For some of us, it could be things that we don't do well. Yeah. So keep sight of your shortcomings. What are the things that are standing in your own, that you're putting in your own way, that are coming between you and profit, between you and growth, between you and going to the next level? Let me give you an example. Maybe you're in an area of law that requires you to have very good public speaking skills, but you're shy or you're not good at public speaking, but maybe you've known this from when you were a child. There are many ways you can keep sight of your shortcomings. You could join a Toastmasters club. You could take an online class on public speaking for free on LinkedIn Learning. You could get a book. The next time you go shopping, buy a book on public speaking. You could start just doing small trainings within your firm, training the younger lawyers and practicing how it sounds and feels to train. You could start reading more books so that you improve your vocabulary and grammar. You see, those are things that you're doing to overcome your shortcomings. If you can afford it, you can even delegate. If you know your strength is, for instance, in getting the work, hire an associate who's good enough and will be able to deliver the work. Maybe you're a good rainmaker. You negotiating, Getting the work is not a problem. Okay, fine, delegate. We also are in a world of automation. There are digital tools that can help you to master something. Maybe you don't have an attention to detail. Then think about, is there affordable practice management software that I can help me manage my documents better? Maybe your challenge is timekeeping. You're a good lawyer. Everyone in your jurisdiction says so-and-so is good, but there's a problem. Get a productivity tool to help you stay on time. It sounds so obvious, but sometimes the simplest of things are the things that stand in our way from success. So be aware of your shortcomings. Yeah. Another way that you can be aware of your shortcomings, this is tough. Get a mentor or a coach who can look at you and see the blind spots for you. Sometimes it's very hard for us to see our own blind spots. You may be surprised to know this. I coach, but I pay also to access a coach. It got to a place in my business, I was like, to go to the next level, I can't do the things I've always known I'm good at. So never be afraid to learn from others. Never be afraid to make an investment, buying a cup of coffee or even just having a Zoom call with someone who can mentor you and tell you, Hafsa, you're great, but there's this thing that's standing in your way. So I hope that is useful for you. So we are on point coaching tip number 2 from Olivia. Leverage your strengths and keep sight of your shortcomings. The next thing, and I think it's the biggest thing for us as women, is to take ownership. I mean, if we were in a public auditorium, I would want you all to repeat it after me. Take ownership of your career, of your life. No one's gonna do it for you. No one's gonna call you and hand you success on a platter. Just because you're good, just because you're gifted. One of the biggest challenges I see when I coach women is their mindset. They're waiting for someone to give them the green light to go to the next level. They're waiting for someone to give them the green light to apply themselves, to go for a secondment, to go to do that LLM. Please take ownership of your career. Let 2021, no matter the challenges we're experiencing in the world right now, let it be the year you decided to take ownership. Don't ask for permission to grow yourself and to go after your goals. Promise yourself that you're worth it. You're worth pursuing your goals. Take ownership of your career, of your personal brand. For those of you who have business development teams, there's a difference between your personal brand and the corporate brand. This is something I always have to tell lawyers. Your personal brand is you. When all is said and done in a law firm, you will leave that law firm or you will move to another law firm as a lateral move. Then what happens? Your corporate brand is the brand of the law firm. If they pay someone to build it, well and good. But don't hide behind the umbrella of the corporate brand and forget to intentionally build your own personal brand. Now more than ever, and as the more you advance in your career, when you're young as a lawyer, when you're seeking pupillage, you want the name of the big firm. I'm doing pupillage in firm X and X. That's what helps us, the experience, the exposure, the contacts, the seniors we interact with. But the older you get, clients want to know you by name. Caritas so-and-so, Bernard so-and-so, Hafsa is known for this and that. Then your personal brand begins to matter even more. So take ownership. Some of you will tell me, oh, I see someone is saying that they're having a problem hearing me. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay, I see someone, Mokira, says she's having a problem. Mokira, everyone is telling me that they can hear me. Could you check your connection, maybe? Okay, so let me go on. So we've talked about taking ownership, which is the second dramatic moment in our talk today, yeah? Abigail says I'm quite audible. Thank you, Abigail, that's reassuring. I'd hate for us to make time to coach and share all this information and then you're not able to hear us. It would be such a shame. Okay, thanks Abigail for reassuring us. Let's get back to the talk. Take ownership. Some of you will tell me, Olivia, you don't understand the farm I work in. There are people here with egos that would be really upset if I try to build my own practice or build my name. Olivia, you don't understand my financial situation right now. I can't afford to access people like you. I can't afford even that LinkedIn premium. So thank you so much, Olivia. But after this chat, I'm not able to do anything because I have resources. Can I just remind you that if you're listening to the sound of my voice, you are an African woman. Women all over the world are known for being resourceful, but more so the African woman. Our grandmothers, our mothers, our sisters, our friends, in many ways, in many industries, show us the resilience of an African woman. So this is my message to you. Do the best you can with what you have. That's not an original statement. I feel I have heard it somewhere else. It's not from Olivia. But do the best you have with what you have until you get what you need. So listen, if there's a problem where you're like, I can't do that LLM right now, COVID is happening, Olivia. I thought 2020, 2021 was the year I would take a break and specialize and do this and do that. I know it's been a tough year for many of us. It's been a tough year for me as well and family. But here's the thing, sometimes there are opportunities even in a crisis. For instance, some of the best universities in the world have made some of their premium content. Premium. We wouldn't be able to access some of the lecturers who are now offering some of their stuff free online without an airplane ticket and a visa. Look for those opportunities. Instead of focusing on what you don't have, think about CPD. Here's a problem. I was laughing to someone close to me who's a practicing advocate. A lot of times, to fill our CPD quota, we take anything towards the end of the year, just so you have your CPD points. But sometimes you can access some very good trainers, experts, thought leaders, very inexpensively, just using your bar as your law society CPD training. Why can't you start there? Say I want to be a natural resource lawyer, then I don't have a big budget. Start using what you have where you have. So that was the second thing, take ownership. We've talked about starting, and we promised ourselves we are starting today. And we're going on a date on it. If you've just joined, we are all going on a self-date on International Women's Day to check on our goals, the direction we're going in. That's our commitment to ourselves, to check in with ourselves. So here's the point. Starting today means you don't wait for the right time to start building your personal brand. And we've talked about being resourceful. Are you guys ready for my next point? Let me know in the comments. Are we doing well? Are we learning? Hafsa is giving me a thumbs up. I'm hoping I'm getting thumbs up from the whole region. So I want those thumbs up. Mary says, yes, we're learning. Marie says, yeah, thanks. I'm glad. I want thumbs up. Sharon says, yes, we're learning. Aisha says, yes, we are. Lisa says, what an engaging and thought-provoking and enjoyable presentation. Lisa, that's great, but wait till you hear the other speakers. There's more we have for you. We're just getting started, believe it or not. If you have friends who hadn't joined, this is the time you WhatsApp them and tell them, here's the link, there's value. Rebecca says yes. Yada says yes. I'm glad, ladies. Let's keep on. The next thing is about our personalities. Jill Baraza says awesome. Georgina says yes. Okay, now let's get back to the teaching. Be a good professional, but don't apologize for wanting to have more and be more. As women, we tend to apologize for being ambitious. I know I have in the past, and I've met women who feel because there are people around them who would be rattled by them becoming better versions of themselves, we pull back. I want to tell you a personal story because I promise that we'll be real on this call. But what happens on Zoom stays on Zoom. The stories you're sharing, yeah. Once I applied for a regional job, regional BD position. So the job would have meant a lot of traveling around sub-Saharan Africa. And one of my own career mentors is my elder sister, who's actually also an advocate. And I remember telling her, because I'm a mom, for those of you who don't know, I told her, how can I go after that job and still be a mom? In my mind, I thought that these things are mutually exclusive, that I can't succeed in this role if I go for this opportunity. But in my heart of hearts, from my 20s, I've always wanted Pan-African opportunities. I've never been one to be content with Kenya. I thank God for being born in Kenya, but I've always thought I can go to Burundi, and Caritas has invited me, by the way. I can work in Tanzania. I can go to Uganda. I've always had this perspective that I want friends in Nigeria. I want to have a business partner in Tunisia. That has always been me. But isn't this what we often feel as women? We feel that we can't be the very best or push ourselves at work in terms of being ambitious, because if we show that we want more, many people will think that you'll drop this other role. Do you know what I want to tell you? In addition to your date on next week, have your cake and eat it. It's your cake. It's no one's cake. And that's what my sister made me realize. She told me, who said you can't be successful in your career and not be a good mother? Who put it in your head that you cannot have those two roles? Again, we're African women, aren't we? And there are many women who are showing us all over the world that we can push ourselves, that we can be successful in many roles. If you've ever felt you need to apologize for being ambitious, for wanting more from your job, from yourself, from your career, I want to encourage you to have your cake and eat it. So be a good professional. This is not a license to be mean, to be catty, to be unsavory towards others. That's not what we are propagating here. But I am saying, be good at what you do and don't apologize for wanting to have more and to be more. The next thing I want to talk about is the F word, not what you think. I'm talking about fear. I don't know if you've heard of this statistic. I forgot to write the exact numbers, that they say that when men are applying for a job, they only check the box like 60% and they still apply. But women may be more qualified for the same job and we pass it. We just forfeit the opportunity altogether. If anyone has that statistics, the common one that they talk about vis-a-vis how we as women are often less confident, and yet we are the qualified people, the people who check all the boxes for our role in terms of recruitment. Here's the point that I'm trying to make. Always do your best to make the right decisions for your career. But sometimes the best thing is to make a move even if you're scared. Sometimes you're not totally ready, but the opportunity is in front of you. Have the courage. Our emotions as women, we are told we play it safe. When it comes to car insurance, we are the best clients because us guys don't take risks. When it comes to finances, we play it safe. So unlike men, we won't take huge risks with our money. Even if it's in marital situations, men are willing to gamble big things. On the other hand, being nurturers and caregivers, we like to play it safe a lot, which is not a bad thing. But there are times we need to do things even if we are afraid of them. A lot of times, there are big and wonderful things waiting for you on the other side of fear. So here's what I want to encourage you. Don't pass up the opportunities that you've been waiting for when they knock on your door because you're afraid. make the right decisions. I'm going to talk to you about using data. So I'm not telling you to be reckless, not at all. I wouldn't want you to do that with your career. But definitely learn to do things in spite of the fear. Let's be warriors. Sometimes you play it safe, and playing it safe will only keep you in a small box. Some of the best career advice my father ever gave me is that, Olivia, always try to be in a big pond, even if you're the small fish. Never be content with being the big fish in a small pond. And that has meant in my career that I should never be comfortable. Now, because Hafsa has said that I am phenomenal, it means I need to move to the next thing. This is not me resigning from farmgrown. If there is a perception that I have arrived or that I have achieved certain growth, that is a signal to me, Olivia, that I need to go now to the next level. What is your next level? What are you seeing in your career that's telling you you've done enough in this small pond, you're ready to go to the big league? In Kenya, we have a saying. We say it's a mix of Kiswahili and English. So allow me to also teach you Kiswahili. You're getting so much more than you bargained for. Look at you. You're even learning language here. We say ligi ndogo, ligi so. So in our sharing, which is like our mix of Kiswahili and English and some of our tribal languages here, ligi so is big league. I always want you to be in the big league. Again, this is another promise. We're making so many pacts with ourselves. This is like a promise-filled webinar. We're coming out of here with action. We are always going to seek to be in the big league, not the small league. When we get too comfortable and we are in a place where everything is okay and you're not growing, that's a signal that it's time to move to the big one. Let's all move to Ligi So. We come out from Ligi Ndogo. If you forget anything from the presentation, Olivia said, we as women of East Africa belong in the big league. So whatever we need to do to go big league, we are going to work on ourselves, put in the time to go big league. Now, the next one is a bit uncomfortable, but I'm going to say it anyway. I asked myself whether I should share this tip, but I wonder, because I am a mother of a daughter, what do I want my daughter to know? And I'm looking at you like my sisters, my mothers, my aunties. I really think we're connected by the fact that we all share this thing that is womanhood. Choose the right partners. Very few people tell you how important it is to your career. You can pay me a lot of money to coach you, but maybe you don't have the right partner in your life. Maybe it's a life partner, or maybe it's in your business, and that is holding you back. So if you have the opportunity, and for some of us, it could be our employers, choose the right partners. It matters a lot. It matters a whole lot. You don't expect to hear this from a career coach, but it's true. Some of us are like, Olivia, I'm already in the thing. I'm not here. I'm not propagating people leave relationships or employers tomorrow. That's not what I'm teaching. But what I am saying is find partners who are aligned with the goals and the mission statement we spoke about earlier. That date you're going for, assess and see, where am I? Are the partnerships in my life helping me grow to that next level? Or are they keeping me in the Ligi Ndogo? Are they keeping me in the small league? And if you're already in something you, of course, can't get out of, you need to learn the art of negotiation. Like, that's another dramatic moment. We as women face the challenge of we fill so many roles. We are so many things to so many people, more than men. No offense, Bernard. But we are so many things to so many people. We play so many roles as African women. Let's let's learn the art of negotiation. It will help you with everything. Your nanny, your spouse, your business partner. If there's something we can do, if we're already in a relationship, whether it's business or otherwise, let us master the art of negotiating. So we find things that are mutually beneficial, not to the other, not to the other party, but to ourselves. Madam Moderator, are we doing well?
Yes,
Yes.
very well. Yes.
We're doing well. So you would hear it everywhere. And as I said, what happened in this webinar, please today, let me not be the subject of pillow talk. Who is this woman who was giving us relationship advice? That was not what I was doing. But I was saying for anyone who's maybe making a big decision right now, be it employment, be it business, be it a life partnership with a spouse, think about, is this person going to help me achieve the goals that I have? Are they going to enable me to be the best version of myself? We don't usually think of just how much those relationships have an impact on how far we go or how far we grow. So that's just some advice there. I said it was controversial. I didn't say it was gonna be a drama-free presentation. We're almost done. There's so many other speakers and they have so much to share, so I want to wrap up soon. The next thing is time. Time is a problem for us as women. Again, we have so much. Men have time. I like to run. I'm Kenyan. I like to run. That may seem cliche, but it's true. And because I like to run, I was watching a documentary that you can use your Women's Day. After your coffee date with yourself, you can watch this documentary. It's called Limitless. And it's about Indian women runners. They are different ages, different stages of their life, and they all run and they talk about what running means to them. And this woman said when she started running, she didn't realize that her husband never asked for permission to go to the gym. He just went, said after work at 7, I'll be at the gym after work, and then I'll come. When she started communicating to her husband that she has to go for a run, she thought to herself, how come he doesn't ask for permission? He just informs me. It's like, by the way, after this, I'm off. And she was like, for me, I feel guilty leaving the home, leaving the children to go for a 30-minute run. Why is it as women, we feel, oh my gosh, should I be doing this? So the thing I think is because we know we want to be there for the children. We want to be there for so-and-so. We want to be there for our mothers maybe. We want to be there for other people in our life. Let's be efficient with our time. So I think a big aspect of being successful as a woman is to be productive and to be efficient. Because of that, there's a link that David will be sharing with you. I have like some time management templates that I'm giving for free that you can use to plan your day, plan your weekly routine. They're simple, they're basic, but I really wanted you guys to take action. For anyone who's been trained by me, one of the biggest things I say is I don't want to download information. I want you guys to take action. I want you guys next week to say, I went for this webinar and I'm making changes. So look out for that planner that you can check. And even for your business development, with a little time you have, I start with what can you do in 10 minutes? Okay, do it. If you can afford 10 minutes, get started. So you'll see a simple business development planner that I've created. It's pretty basic, but it's meant to help you and you can use it month after month, but let's just get started. Now, one area that we struggle with in terms of time as women after hours, because we have so many obligations, is networking. And all the women in the room said, hey. We often struggle to find time after hours to network. Men find it very easy to get this time. Do you guys agree? Tell me in the comments if you struggle to get time. You know, for your business development, you need to build more relationships, but you struggle with this idea of, I can't be at night in an X place. There's so many things that prevent me from doing that, but I need to network. Dorothy says it's a challenge. It's true, many women struggle with this one. And there are some decisions that sometimes are made in the bar because we can't go to the bar. And it seems, no offense again to the men, Bernard, we come in peace. We're just opening our hearts. So we're just being real here. So this is a challenge we have. We need to build connections. Social capital is key. I have some good news and I have some bad news. The bad news is, and the reality is, the best networking is face-to-face. It's true. But currently, because of public health restrictions due to the COVID-19 pandemic, there's a light coming from, and it's not from a moving train. There's a light at the end of our tunnel as women. Right now, more than ever, networking has gone contactless, AKA right now, because we can't meet each other as much, a lot of networking is happening digitally. So I want to encourage you to use tools like LinkedIn. Hafsa is telling me my time is almost up. I want to encourage you to use tools like LinkedIn to leverage this. I think I'll answer more in the Q&A, Hafsa, so let me not belabor that. And I have some resources I've shared to help you with your networking. The second last thing, Hafsa, is very close, I'm almost close, is share content so that you're perceived as a thought leader. We live in a digital economy where before people give you work, they want you to know that you have the knowledge. You have the knowledge to do the work. So one easy way to do it is to do content marketing. The problem that I see with many lawyers, both male and female, is that we try different content marketing efforts. Today you're doing a podcast. Next week you're on a webinar. 3 weeks later you're on an article. You're doing an article because you're seeing your competitors are doing it. What if Eliud Kipchoge every year changed the type of running that he did? Would he be the man who has broken world records? No. The reason Eliud Kipchoge, if you don't know who he is, he's a Kenyan runner like me. He just runs a little faster than me, but we are both Kenyan and we both run. So anyway, Eliud Kipchoge became indomitable. He proved and he did something that was beyond human because he stuck to one thing. So I want to encourage you in terms of content marketing, choose 1 or 2 content marketing tools you can use. How do you decide which channel or medium is best for you? I'm so glad you came and you asked that question. There's a system called the quant-based marketing system. It's by a guy called Noah Kagan, who's one of the first employees of Facebook. And he talks about 2 things. Will it give me maximum impact? And will it be easy for me to do? So if you're choosing what platform, what to do in terms of creating content, remember those things. Maximum impact, and it makes it easy for me to do. My last point, Hafsa, is make data your friend. Yes, intuition was given to us as women and it saves us from a lot of trouble. But when it comes to your career, if you want to specialize in something, if you want to invest in a particular event, if you want to take out a profile in a legal directory like Chambers, please have data. Have data. Make data your friend. Whether it's Google Analytics, LinkedIn Analytics, whatever analytics you're able to get, the local business newspaper in your jurisdiction, don't just do things because it feels right or because other people are doing. Use data. This is what they do in many industries, but a lot of times we make decisions just based on our gut. That's great. Tell you what is even better. Use data. Hafsa, I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much, Olivia. You are truly a phenomenal woman. That was very interesting and very educative. I have noted some few tips that I would like to repeat to the audience. First and foremost, take yourself on a date, analyze yourself, figure out the direction you wish to take your career. And also invest on yourself. Do not hide behind the corporate umbrella. Don't feel ashamed for wanting more. Have your cake and eat it. Choose the right partner, and it matters a lot. Yes. and it matters a lot. So from there, I would like to welcome our second speaker. From being coached now, we are moving to what women should consider while making a choice to specialize. As a practicing lawyer, it's very important to make a right choice in picking specialization, as it plays a significant role in building a successful career. And what do you wish to be known for? It answers that question also. Our next speaker has 19 years experience working for both government and international organizations in the justice, health, and higher education sector. She has also spent several years working at the National Public Prosecution Authority, prosecuting genocide cases and other war crimes committed during the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi people of Rwanda. In the past, she has also served as a treasurer and women lawyers representative of EALS. Please welcome Ms. Maggie Baingana.
Well, thank you so much, Hafsa. I'm very glad that you have been my replacement at the ELS as a treasurer and women's representative. Thank you for that introduction. I don't know, David, do you have something to say? They had updated my topic, and so I prepared something completely different from what you just described. David, would you like to say something so that people know that I did not just change my own topic, but you allowed me?
David?
David, you need to say something. Okay, so it's actually, I had discussed with David, and we had sort of updated my topic, but 80% of what my topic was about has actually been spoken about by Olivia, because we had spoken about business development for women lawyers, especially in this time of crisis, this time of COVID. And some of the things that were on my list have been covered, but I'll just go through them. As far as specialization is concerned, I think it's an important thing. And I think Olivia also talked about specialization and what you're good at, do that. What will you be known for? But in our context here and in our markets, usually you'll find that we do not have so many firms. Oh, David is saying that, that he's unable to speak, and he's confirmed that, yes, we revised the topics. Please proceed, Maggie. So as you can see, I am validly allowed to change topics. So I was talking about the specialization and the fact that in our markets, we find that there are not so many lawyers who specialize, because we still have a small market, a market that's not so well developed, where actually someone can choose one area of practice and thrive in that. We're going to get there one day. Like in the US, someone will specialize in motor accident insurance cases, and that's all they do, and they'll have a sufficient business to help them run. So for me, today I'm going to speak on the topic of this business development during this time of COVID. And it's very unfortunate to speak after Olivia, because she's extremely eloquent. And as I said, she's the best storyteller that I've had the privilege to listen to. And especially if I'm speaking on a point or in a subject that she's so well conversant in. So please feel free, Olivia, to correct me, to rebuke me, or make me better and coach me. Yeah.
Maggie, I'm here to learn from you. Thank you for the kind words, but I'm here to learn from you, and I'm so excited. Please, there's so much you can give us, especially your context in practice and just growing and building your own practice. So we can't wait to hear.
Yeah, so thank you for that. I'll start by a short introduction. Hafsa introduced me really well, but there's a portion that she didn't mention. So I always pride myself in saying that I'm a mother of 3, and I'm a wife as well. And then I'm a lawyer practicing in private. And most of us wear those many hats. You're a lawyer, you're a mother, and you're a wife, and you're a daughter in society, and you're a sister, and you have all these roles where everybody expects you to perform. And in addition to being a mother of 3, I also homeschool them for the last, this is our 5th year. So a homeschooling mom, running a full-fledged law firm, being a wife, being a daughter, and being a sister and a friend and a networker. So it's my pleasure to be speaking about, you know, many times people call it the delusion or the illusion that women can have it all. You can have this and do it. You can have your cake and eat it too. So as you know, COVID-19 has affected every business in every segment of our community. Business development has always been a challenge for women, even before the pandemic. So how do we as women remain relevant and increase business in an environment that seems to still prefer men for complex transactions or other lucrative businesses? How many of you have been in a situation where you're in a room and a client walks in and says, I need a lawyer, looking at you? And they definitely have this face that says, you can't be the lawyer. A man, I'm looking for a man, basically. How many? Who can show me by show of hands? Yeah, I've had those kinds of experiences where someone says, where is the lawyer? And you're in a group, you're in a meeting, and every time either you're a young woman, everyone will assume that you're either a secretary or a research assistant or some other small role. There have been many issues that women face in our competitive markets. And Olivia mentioned some. The deals are made in bars in the evenings when we can't go because we have to go home to prepare supper or to be there for the kids and help them with homework. We have issues of expectations that we still need to be the 100% childcare provider, even if you have a partner at home, taking care of aging parents. We have issues of loss of income during maternity leave, where women actually lose touch with their clients because they've given birth and they can't keep up. And there are all sorts of issues related to lack of confidence, and the list can go on. I for one, have decided these will not be a list of problems because they are all opportunities. They all give us opportunities. We can't dwell on challenges because as women, we bring our own flavor to the profession. The issue is that many of us want to do things as men do them. You know, try to, do things the way men do them. No. Why don't we close deals at nail salon bars? A nice nail salon, go and hang out there. Why don't we have branches, organized branches while we are watching children play, close deals, discuss complex issues? Since bars have been closed, COVID has helped us anyway. Do you hear men complaining that we don't have a place to close deals? I don't want us to be known as people who complain that we have issues, that we have obstacles. Men are very busy devising other means of reaching new clients and keeping the old ones happy. Let's do the same. Let's bring our own flavor to the table. So that being the introduction, I want to share a few tips I've learned during this time and how we can grow our business. So number one, let's try to be visible. Let's not stay in the background. I remember as a young lawyer, I used to want to be the research assistant who writes, who does the research and submit very nicely written documents, but don't ask me to go to meetings, don't ask me to be seen. Give me something to do, let me do it and send it. And at the end of the day, nobody knows this person who has written this thing. Anybody can write that, but go to the forefront, go to these meetings, speak up, let your ideas be known, be visible. You can do this through networking, create events where you can actually go, share experiences, join webinars, just as this one, volunteer to speak or to share your own story, or mentor a young woman. Just give of yourself and be visible. Don't stay in the background. Number two, believe in yourself. You are worthy and you are as good as anyone, if not better. This confidence will radiate and your clients will see it. Let's not, speak down to ourselves. Let's let them know, our clients know that they're in good hands. I usually like to tell our clients when we're meeting and we are a group and we're a team, and we'll talk about the technical parts of our intervention, I always remember to tell them, you are in the best hands. We will give our best to this dossier. We're going to fight for you and we're going to do our best. And we are the best. So let's start by believing in ourselves and on not just, giving out a vibe of no confidence. And, men usually have no issues at all. Olivia also mentioned this. Have you seen this cartoon, a trending cartoon, which shows a very skinny little boy, really, really skinny, looking at themselves in the mirror, and the reflection they say is of a big, buff man with muscles. And then they show this big, beautiful woman, and every time she looks at herself in the mirror, she sees herself even bigger and disabled and depressed, and the whole confidence is not there, and the shoulders are slumped, and yet they are big and beautiful and out there. It just shows that men think of themselves more highly than they actually are, and we think of ourselves less and less. So my message to you on this point of believing in yourself is, every time you look at yourself in the mirror, tell yourself tell that woman that you see in the mirror, you can do this, you have got this, you're important, you can deliver, and they are lucky to have you. So speak that and believe it, because it is true. Now, number 3, we have to learn the art of self-promotion. Nobody's going to promote us if we don't promote ourselves. Yes, we might do some good work and some clients will say, oh, they have done a good job, but we have to really put in the effort to promote ourselves. And one way of doing it is write down your achievements. By identifying and recording your achievements, you'll be able to easily convey the information that you want to be known for. Take advantage of informal opportunities to talk about your accomplishments. When a client asks you what is new, be prepared with a response. During meetings, highlight your accomplishments in subtle ways, always making sure to pay attention to your audience and be respectful to your listeners' time. Never ever downplay your success. If someone gives you a compliment, thank them. We have this issue as women, we minimize our achievements. And if someone gives you a compliment, you say, oh, it's not a big deal. Oh, I had a lot of help. Basically, you're trying to be humble. It's false humility. You're supposed to own it. Thank them for the compliment. Don't downplay your achievement. The other thing is, it's very important to promote other women and to also give compliments, because people will likely return the favor. Consider teaming up with a colleague and agreeing to support each other by making sure that the right people hear about each other's professional success. But don't rely entirely on other people to promote you. While it's worthwhile to advocate for other people, you must also be an advocate for yourself first. Number 4, be brave and be resilient. Olivia also talked about this. Bravery means take risks, be willing to take risks. Undertake huge projects and put yourself out there. Know that when you pitch and get no interest or get a rejection, you can come back again with a different approach. Don't give up. Don't give up at all. Out of the 20 people you approach, you might get 2 who are interested, or 3. And next time, add another 20 and get 2 or 3 and grow that way. Be brave, be resilient. Number 5, do it your way. I had mentioned it earlier. Be yourself and bring your own flavor. God has specifically gifted us women with intuition and delicacy. We see between the lines when others don't. And we can discern better and handle our client's business with the more delicacy, only the delicacy that a woman can bring. Let's be proud of that. Let's not try to be someone else. And guess what? It is a good time to be a woman. Everybody now knows that they should be working with women, because whether you like it or not, the future is female. So let's position ourselves to actually be this bright and beautiful future. If you need to go to a meeting with a red flower in your hair, do it. Bring your own flavor. Just don't be intimidated by a world that is currently dominated by men, because the future is changing. Number 6, get a sponsor. And I'm thinking I'm getting a sponsor very soon in the person of Olivia. So it's a sponsor, basically the senior individual who will use his or their clout to champion or advance your career. You can attract the attention of potential sponsors by doing excellent work, even for free. Then ask them to help you make sure that the right people hear about your accomplishments. I have had a chance to interact with some influential women here in our country, and sometimes they'll ask me to do some work for them, and I will not charge it because I know that during meetings they go to that I don't have access to, they will speak of me. And sometimes you express this and say, you know, I'm going to do this for you, but make sure whenever you're speaking with these kinds of people, mention that there is a talent here that they can tap into. And that kind of sponsorship or someone championing you is really, really important for your growth. Number 7 is, I think Olivia also talked about it, is developing a personal brand. She said it so well. She said to separate your personal brand from your corporate brand. And I don't know anything about corporate brand. I think Olivia will teach us again about that. I just wanted to speak about a personal brand. Because when you establish it, it's really an important part of self-promotion. It's what differentiates you from other men and women who offer the same services. You already have a personal brand. Your brand is defined by the qualities that people think of when they think of you. Be strategic about developing your personal brand so that the brand sends the message that you want to convey. And some of the questions you need to ask yourselves is, how do you want your clients or colleagues to describe you to others? Start by answering some of these questions yourself. Like, again, it taps into what Olivia was saying. When you take yourself on a date, discover who are you? What are your skills? What do you promise to deliver? How will you add value to the people that you serve? And what is your experience and record? In my own experience, I have learned one of the biggest things that I want to be defined by is trust. Can people trust my word? Is my word my bond? If I say I'm going to do something, do I do it? And do I do it well? Because in this day and age where the world is no longer meeting physically and people don't even, you serve people you haven't seen, you've exchanged emails, they're your clients, you do things for them, they've never met you. But what you put out there, can they trust you? So trust is everything for me when it comes to brand. So I will not take much of your time. I will conclude by saying we must all be committed to the development of women in our profession. And we must know that acting now to help young women honing their business development skills is a strategic imperative. We want more of them to become successful lawyers and move into leadership positions. Thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you. Let me know if there are any questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Maggie. That was very insightful. I've also noted some few tips that you have talked about, and I would like to remind our attendees. First, please try to be visible. Don't stay in the background. That means you should volunteer to speak, attend webinars, try to use every opportunity to network, and also believe in yourself, be confident, and make sure you deliver to your clients. Being confident is not enough on itself if you're not delivering. And also learn the art of self-promotion. Promote yourself to every opportunity that you get. Promote other women. Do not forget, teamwork is the best. Be willing to take risks. Get a sponsor, a mentor, and develop a personal brand. It's very important to develop a personal brand. I will also like to add, assess your abilities. If you like to specialize on something, it's very important to assess your abilities. Abilities are not the same. Everyone varies due to experience and your ambitions in the market on itself. So I would also like to welcome our next speaker, who who will be speaking and sharing lessons on fostering sustainable private practice. So our third speaker is a founder of CN and Associates, a very successful leading law firm based in Burundi. She has more than 20 years experience in private practice, and she also a very experienced and certified arbitrator with more than 10 years experience on that area. And among other things, she has hugely contributed to the drafting of the Child Protection Code in Burundi. She has a huge expertise in drafting shadow reports on international covenants, also representing NGOs before human rights treaty bodies. She has also served as a president of Burundi Women Lawyers Association and a council member of EALS. Our third speaker will be sharing lessons on fostering sustainable private practice. Please welcome Ms. Caritas Nyonzima.
Okay, thank you, Afsa. Thank you for your kind presentation. And we maybe allow me to share my screenshot, because I have a presentation, I have a PowerPoint presentation. So, okay. Good. Okay. Now I'm done. Okay, thank you, Afsa, for your good introduction, your kind introduction to me. And I would just like to welcome all our attendees who are just joining now. As she said, I'm Caritas Nyonzima. She was talking about my experience, my work experience. But I would like to say as Maggie, that I'm a lucky and very happy mom of 4 fantastic kids. And one of them is my boss at CN and Associates. So, and I will also tell you that, to say shortly, to be short of my professional life, I have 30 years of professional life. I have around 24 as a woman private practice lawyer. And I have been in council, in housing council, like for around 10 years. I've been 3 years as a deputy manager of a petroleum company in Bujumbura. So what I will try to share today, it will be lessons learned during all my careers. And I'm happy that, I'm glad to tell you that 100% of them was given by Olivia and Maggie. But I will try to say them, a summary of them in the other words. My topic today, as she was saying, steering sustainable private practice lessons for women lawyers. I will do it in five short points. The first one will be the introduction, and we'll share why do we need a sustainable private practice and what to do for it. They have already said how to do it, where to do it. First of all, let me introduce to you CN and Associates. What is she? Because she's full women practice. And she has 2 decades old. She has a wide legal and tax practice. As I have 30 years of experience, for me, it was good to have to be on the top of a huge practices, and then I can specialize. I can do many specializations and help women to see what you can do, where we can go. We are among leading law firm in Burundi, as Hafsa was saying. Our firm, she is recognized as and respected for its ethics and professionalism. We are champion of the values of integrity, honesty, leadership, teamwork, excellent quality of service. And now we are collaborating with the Anderson Global in Burundi, which is a big family of legal and tax firms around the world. I was asking myself the question, is CN and Associates a sustainable private practice? Maybe you have the response later, or you give the response yourself. Why do we need a sustainable private practice? Because there is a need of being well known to develop your clientele. There is a need of showing your personality to inspire respect in community. They were talking about the brand, your name. Your name must need to be known. There is a need of confidence in yourself, comparing where you are coming from and where you are today, so people can have confidence in you. There is a need of evidence of your progress in the legal industry. People who saw you when we were kidogo, and you've been big legal, and they have to see what are your results on your long journey you have traveled. Then what to do? What do you have to do for that? First of all, you have to fix your objectives. You have to know, what do you want to do? Where are you going? What do you want? Then, and your objectives, your aspirations, your goals have to be smart. What I mean by smart? S as specific. What is your action you are going to do? What you are going to make in place? It will be measurable. Which results are you expecting for acting? And your objectives must be achievable. Which steps do you undertake to achieve your goals and aspirations? You can see those ladies. Huh? I was on the other one, and now I am on the top. I'm going on the top, and the limit is the sky. You have to be objectives need to be realistic, because do you have required resources for making your aspirations true? Do you have an office? Do you have a laptop? Do you have a personnel for doing things? Are you equipped enough for the expected success? You have to be realist to know you have the toolkit you may need to do things. Timed. You have to fix yourself a deadline. All my colleagues know how I like this word deadline. If you don't have deadline, if you don't know when are you going to finish and start maybe things, you can never finish. So we have to fix a deadline for your plans. And what to do again, you have to be focused on your goals by implementing your action plans. You know, Olivia was saying that some people could say you that you cannot do things, you can't succeed, but you don't need to listen to them. You don't lose time by listening those people who are not they are losers. Consider them as losers, and you are the winner. If you are the winner, you have to work for that. And you can see, I show you this big lady now, and I hope to be the next one. How to do it? We need to be a hard worker. You will be. You need. You have to work very hard, and you need to work with your head and your heart. You need to work with your head because of all elements I was showing you, as toolkit, as personnel, as whatever you want, as your objectives. Then you have to plan, and you have to put your heart by doing things, doing good things. You know, I was telling about. I used to tell my kids when they were very young. You have. What you have to make in mind is your top will be being president, because if you're not president, you will work for being president to be maybe a ministry. If you work, some young lawyers, women as men, they want to be on top by working for 1 year and working for maybe third time of a daily time. It can't work. You can't be at the top by working. Some arrive at the office at 9 or 10, and at 4 or before they are going home. No, you can't. You need time to be on your office to think and to plan and then to work. So I share this with Margaret Thatcher, the First Lady, and until now, the one who have been the Prime Minister of the British Prime Minister. Because if your target is high, even if you can't be there, you will be near. Some women lawyers of Burundi, I think young women lawyers, I hope they are following this. They have attended this webinar. I used to coach them when they were preparing to pass the exam of being full lawyers. I told them not to think only to be qualified as full lawyer. They need to target the first place of the whole group, because being the first, this will be a starting of or continuing of a sustainable practice for sure. And you have to invest in people. Investing in people is what I like to do, what I'm doing now, what Olivia, Maggie, and VP who will come after, we are doing, Hafsa are doing. We need to invest in people, to help others. If a young lawyer, women or not, is coming to me, maybe I've done something which impressed her or him, and come to compliment me and ask me how to do, I will be glad to share how I arrived there. I will be glad to share how I've made this CN law today. And Maggie was telling that it was a tip from Maggie also to have to find a mentor. This is very important. It doesn't to be only a successful woman to be your mentor. It can be a man. It can be a lawyer or not. Also, you have to do it by taking seriously your ambition and ignoring anybody who can or make you doubt. You don't have to doubt. It's you. Maggie was saying that. It's you who knows better than anyone what you are doing, what you have planned to do. You have to be authentic and true to yourself. I don't comment because Maggie was saying that, and even Olivia, but you have to develop your leadership in the way you do things. You cannot allow people who are or your associates or your colleagues or your support team to do things like they are out of your goals, of what you want to do. They have to do with you. We have to be in the same train. And where do you have to do this? You have to do this everywhere. Wherever you go, you will find opportunities on your way, but you have to take the opportunity. Don't wait for a big opportunity. Don't wait for 10 years for opportunity. No, the first one won't come back, and the first one will be the path to be maybe for the one we are waiting for. When in your ups and downs, do your own assessment. Hafsa was saying this. She was adding to the tips of Olivia. Do your own assessment all the time and be focused. Stay focused on your objectives. If you need a break, take a moment to reflect but not give up, because you have to take time. Even if you don't be as I was saying on the top, you will be near. And if you don't succeed, you will be. It's not your fault. It's not you who is your fault. Maybe there is other challenge that you didn't manage to pass through, but it's not you. You've done your best. You have to do your best all the time. You have to do excellently your work. At this different stage of making your career, learn by success as well as your not so success. All the time, learn. What is the lesson? What is the lesson you have to learn here? Is it you in the program? Is it the time? Is it maybe the pandemic, or the opportunity is the pandemic? You have to learn. How did you manage to be at the stage you are? Then you will be able to compete with best women and men lawyers. So you can be sure, if you follow those tips from Olivia and from Maggie and some of my explanations, for sure you will be able to compete with best women, because you need to compete with the best and men lawyers. I like this picture. This picture is one of an opportunity that I said to be a council member. At that time, there were no restrictions of going, of transport, of traveling. So we have to go and visit important persons like presidents. You cannot imagine. This, it could, some people say, no, I cannot be a council member because this will take too much time for my work. No, this is a really school that you cannot have to pay for anywhere. So you have to take this opportunity and learning so many things. I've learned how to discuss with presidents in this region. How we have to be with have to work with colleagues from region, how to make friendship, how to make networking. This all the time says the opportunity. Murakoze cyane, asante sana, thank you, merci beaucoup. I'm done.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Nyonzima, for a very insightful presentation. So all the attendees who are in private sector or aspiring to start one, I believe you are going to take the lessons shared by our speaker and use them to your benefit. And please take into account the following as shared by our speaker. Being well known to develop a clientele. Values are very important. Be smart. Smart stands for the following. As shared by our speaker, SMART stands for specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timed. And also be focused in implementing your goals, work hard with your head and heart, invest in people, be patient, and set high ambitious goals. Even if you don't reach there, you'll be near. So thank you very much, Ms. Nyonzima. Our next speaker is practicing in Tanzania with over 10 years experience. She's the founder of MS Legal Consultants. She leads consultants in corporate governance, IP, ICT, cybersecurity advisory. She's also a certified director and a very active member of Tanzania Institute of Directors, a member of International Bar Association, also a member of International Trademark Lawyers Association and Pan-Africa Lawyers Union, among others. She's here today to speak on ways women lawyers could use to attract opportunities, as we are all facing the hard fact that most of our organizations no longer take responsibility for career development. I am honored to welcome Ms. Sarah Muhanidwa. Ms. Sarah? Ms. Sarah, please welcome.
Yes. Can you hear me, Hafsa?
Yes, we can now.
Yeah. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Hafsa, for the introduction. And thank you also to the preceding speakers, Madam Maggie Baingana, Ms. Caritas Nyozima, Olivia Kiratu, and the rest. I am honored to have this chance to share my thoughts on how we can position for opportunities. And basically, I'm going to share some tips for women lawyers on how we can seize these opportunities. I had apologies, first of all. I woke up so early to prepare myself for this presentation, and then apparently I got too early in the office and I bumped into the cleaners, and I'm allergic to dust, so the rest is history. I have listened to all the presentations, and like the previous speakers, fortunately or unfortunately, much of what I had on my slides has been spoken about, but I'll give it a slightly different approach. I'm trying to share my screen right now. It's quite a mess there, but I think that's where I'm going. Okay. Hafsa, is that visible? Is that
Yes, it's visible.
Slideshow. I need to go to a slideshow. Yes. So I have had a really challenging time to try and come up with, what really is an opportunity for all of us, because opportunity is relative. I have even tried to scan through the participants in this webinar, And I'm aware that some of us in here are like practicing advocates. Some of us in here are magistrates. I'm not sure if there are any judges in here, but ideally there are also women lawyers. And then with the practitioners, there are those who work in law firms, and there are those who are in-house legal counsels. With the people who practice in law firms, there are those who are leading the businesses as partners, like Madam Caritas, and there are those who are just associates in the law firms. I'm not sure if we have any graduates of LLB degrees. They're also lawyers, but there also can be recent graduates from law school. They've just, finished law school and they've passed the bar exam. They're also lawyers, women lawyers. So our ages are also completely different. We are in a completely different um, positions or stages of our lives. So if I scanned across everyone's perception of what an opportunity is, I'm sure everyone will give me a different response depending on the specifics that I have just described. So I tried really to summarize 3 key things that I believe they have been ample for me when I was trying at any point in my career life to decide whether this is an opportunity for me and how I can position myself for it. Maybe to give this a little bit of background also that perhaps I've not said, much as I'm just 10 years of practice in Tanzania, I have served in many, do we call them boards, councils? Some jurisdiction calls them council, but I've served like in committees for young lawyers in the National Bar Association here in Tanganyika. And then I've served at the EALS, first with the Women Lawyers Forum as the chairperson and convener, and then as the vice president. I have served at IBA as in the Women Lawyers Interest Group. I have served at IODT also as a member. I have served in many different capacities, but this for me because at that point, and I'm not serving anywhere at the moment, by the way, but this is because at that particular point in my career, these were opportunities for me, according to where I was, how I was looking at myself, where I wanted to go, and ambitions that I had set for myself as a practitioner, but also as a person. So the 3 things that I wanted to share that I believe would cut across all of us, according to our diverse natures and positions as people and as career persons, that is women lawyers. Number 1 is self-awareness. Olivia spoke of this a little bit, and my take of self-awareness is on 2 levels. First of all, you have to know yourself as a person. You have to be conscious of your strengths. What are your strengths? What are your shortcomings? What are your values? What motivates you? What is your personality type? And very, very important is, what does success mean to you? Because again, like I said, we are very different. For me, I have very proudly mentioned that I have served in different capacities in the boards of the law societies, and to me, this is a definition of success because of my personality and my personal ambitions. This may not be success or opportunity for some other woman lawyer who is listening to this webinar. So the whole essence of self-awareness is actually taking time in your career life to really sit down and develop something like a personal vision, a personal statement of who you really are and factoring, you know, your strengths and your shortcomings and what are your values, and this will help you to align with, but most importantly to be aware of what could be the relevant opportunities. Now, this self-awareness on the second level is knowing yourself and making self-assessment on your career. Like I hinted earlier, where are you in your career right now? You are a lawyer, yes. Have you just finished your degree? So an opportunity for you right now could be maybe to get a job without going to law school, if you have assessed and you've realized this is what you want. Or it could be, if you've finished your bar exam, landing a job at a law firm. Maybe you don't want to work in a law firm, you want to land a job in government, or maybe you want to apply for a magistrate position in the judiciary or become a judge. So where are you in your career? What are your qualifications? This is very important, because whatever level of whatever qualifications that you have will either expand or limit your ability to access certain opportunities in your career. And then where do you want to go? Oh, first of all, where do you want to go? Yes, where do you want to go? So if you have a law degree, or you have you've just passed your bar exam, or you are an in-house counsel that has practiced for 10 years, what do you want next? Where are you in a non-managerial position and you want to go into management? And the qualifications that you have right now, will they take you to the management position? If you have been running a big business like Madame Caritas, she's explained to us how she's successfully running her law firm. What is the next step for her? What could be, where does she want to go next? She wanted to be like the Vice President, Kamala Harris. I hope she wants to be the President of Burundi next. So assessing your being self-aware career-wise will help you to align on what again can be an opportunity for you, but most importantly, what is required for you to get where you want to go. So this is not exactly an easy exercise, and it's not something that you can do overnight. What I wish to stress on this point of self-awareness is that this is a journey. And I have had to live that journey. I am still living that journey, and I believe everybody else will have to go through that journey of self-discovery and self-assessment, and in order to be able to align and to be aware of what are the opportunities that this person wants to tap on, because not every opportunity necessarily aligns with who you are, necessarily measures with your strength, and what you should do in order for you to be able to go to where you want to get. And then the next point that I would like to share on positioning for opportunity is mindset. And here I would like to quote the famous quote by Henry Ford: "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you are right." This is my favorite, I don't know if I can call it a mantra. It's something that I use to remind myself that when I have decided that there's an opportunity in front of me, and this can work for everyone who have analyzed themselves, they are self-aware, and they think they want to go for a certain opportunity. What is your mindset at the moment? If you decide in your mind that you cannot do this thing, then you won't be able to do it. If you decide that you want to do this thing, you will do it. It's all in your mindset. The whole point here is not to give you like this unrealistic boost that you can actually do things which you cannot do. because we already discussed about the self-assessment session, being self-aware and being conscious about, what are your limitations and what are your strengths. The key point that I want to emphasize on mindset is that sometimes when you've decided to go for opportunities, your mind, the way it is created, you tend to be afraid, because maybe it's the waters that, you're trying to test the deeper waters. And naturally, your whole system is telling you this is new. So you want to, lay back and say, maybe this is going to be difficult and maybe this is going to be hard. But what has always worked for me, and what I think it will work for every one of us, regardless of what position you are, with respect to opportunities that you want to grab as a woman lawyer, you really need to work with the mindset, being mindful of the fact that your mind informs your action. If you decide in your mind that this is too difficult or I cannot do this, then know that it will limit your action or your beliefs, and it will hinder you from making progress. Okay. Then the third point on opportunities, tips for grabbing opportunities as women lawyers, and how we can position for opportunities on the issue of action. After you have assessed yourself as a person, after you have assessed your position in career and you've established where you want to go, you are already aware, you naturally become aware of what are the opportunities that lay ahead of you, or what are the opportunities that you must seek. The next step is action. And what action could it be? You might have to go for a certain course. You might have to make an actual application of that management position that you want to have. You might have to look for the right network, be in the right environment in order for you to maybe enhance yourself or meet the right people who will, or maybe get a coach like Olivia, whatever it is that you've established that is necessary for you to take to grab the opportunity. Then this is the time that you must take action. Now, I want to emphasize on the point of action that, first of all, we must take the right actions. There's this inspiring story. We're in East Africa, and we don't have the time when we have like a really, really cold winter to the point where like the waters in the lakes are freezing. But there's this this story that I really find inspiring, that I saw online, I read online, and someone was talking about a guy who wanted to go fishing. And the storyteller explains that, fishing is a waiting game. So this guy, but unfortunately it was, that time of the year when it was freezing and the lakes had frozen. But when it freezes up here, it's like ice, but down there, there's life and like fish, and you can still go fishing. So this person went to the lake, and, he brought along a lot of drinks, and he sat there quietly, and, he took the worms, put them on the fishing rod, and threw the rod into the river, created a spot that he could, throw the fishing rod inside the lake. And the guy sat there from like 5 a.m. to close to midday. He did not catch anything. He did not catch any fish. And after a while, like around 4 o'clock in the evening, a younger guy comes with very loud car, parks the car, comes out with a stereo, and he's playing this very, very loud music, and comes with a fishing rod and the worms, and he sits beside that old guy, and he starts fishing as well. So the old guy is like, there's no fool like a young fool, because how do you come to fish so late in the day and then you are like all noisy and it doesn't work. And what do you think you will catch? But surprisingly, in very short time, the young guy started making the catches. So he caught some fish. And this old man was stunned, like, how did this happen? He said, maybe it's just luck. And then after another few minutes, there was a second catch. So this old guy couldn't help but, ask this young guy, what are you doing? How did you do this? I've been here since 4 a.m. And the young guy said, you have he said, you have to make the, you have to keep the fish warm. This is what the guy said. Meaning that, the whole surface is like frozen and the fish have gone like deep, deep, deep down into the ocean. So for you to be able to attract the fish so that they can come up, for you to be able to fish, you had to create some energy, some warmness. So this loud music that this guy had come with on the stereo that he put on the frozen lake on top was creating some heat. Then the vibration from the radio, from the stereo was creating some heat, which made the fish from, the depth of the lake want to come up. They were curious. And because of that, he did make the catch. He was successful in making the catch. So what is the point that I'm trying to drive here? Yes, you are self-aware, you've made the assessment, you know what is required to be done for you to be able to learn the opportunities. You have spotted the opportunities, you are taking the action. Take the right action, because much as there is competition, there are realities of the world. Much as you see yourself this way, there are opportunities that require certain criteria, like everybody else has been saying. So you need to, whatever action that you are taking, you need to evaluate and keeping on self-evaluating to see whether you're actually doing the right action to be able to land those opportunities. And on that point, I would like also to emphasize that you could count that you did everything and then things are not happening the way you expected. And some people may call it a failure. Maybe you've failed. When you think you've failed, this could be some learning point. You need to go back to the mindset. Either you go back to the mindset or you go back to tip number 3 when you're taking action, where you actually taking the right action. So the process is like a cycle that repeats by itself. You have to go through the same process over and over again in order to be able to be sure that you are landing the opportunities that you wish to access in your career as a woman lawyer. Thank you for your attention. I would like to stop there. Thank you.
Thank you, Sarah, for your presentation. I am asking the attendees to please take action and implement the lessons, and also be kind enough to share with other women and colleagues. That's so we could all benefit from this webinar. And I would also like to point out what you have presented as follows. Self-awareness is very important and it's vital in positioning yourself for opportunities. Try and figure out yourself. That will help you to align to your preferable opportunity. And also, where are you in your career? What are your qualifications? You should ask yourself those questions. Do you need more experience? Are you there yet? Do you need some improvement in order to access those preferable positions that you really wish to get? And also your mindset. It's very important to align your mindset with those opportunities. Be positive, focused, and be clear on where you are heading and where you wish to reach and achieve. And also the other thing, take actions. Take actions to reach to your goals and those opportunities. Take action to network to the people that you are sharing the common goals. Get a mentor in that area. Align yourself with the opportunities you wish to get and access. So We are almost done, but then it's very unfortunate that our final speaker won't be joining us today. Ms. Sarah Richson is unable to attend this webinar. She has a sick child that she's attending. And she was also going to speak about work-life balance for career women lawyers. So maybe I will just request the speakers to comment briefly on that topic, because I know Maggie, Ms. Caritas, Ms. Olivia has also talked about it a little bit in their presentation earlier. So I'll just go and ask this question: can women in law have it all? That was Ms. Sarah Richson presentation was going to live on. So I will welcome Olivia. Olivia, if you'd like to comment and share briefly about work and balance, can women in law have it all? I know you have already said that you can have your cake and eat it. So your comment briefly, please. Olivia, we can't hear you. We can't hear you.
Sorry about that. Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you now.
I love the fact that we're learning from each other, and I want to say that I don't have all the answers. I just want to talk my own experience achieving balance. There have been times in my life when I have not been there for homework. I have been at the office, and I like the way Maggie kept it real and said, I'm homeschooling, I'm doing all this, and I'm running a fully fledged practice. My journey has been different, and what I've learned is my all has changed as my career has grown. So my all has not been one thing, it's been a journey of defining, looking at the family, looking at other things in my life and saying, what's the most important thing to me right now? So what Sarah said really hit me hard on what's your definition of success. For me, the definition of success keeps changing. There was a time it was, I want this to reach X financial goal. Then there was another time I was like, I want to be time and location independent. And that's one of the reasons I set up Farmgrown, where I was like, I want to have the freedom to work from anywhere I want to work. Wherever I want to go, I want to have time and location freedom. And I want to be home when the kids come home. That was another time I was like, there was a time I wasn't there for them. Now I feel I want to be there. It keeps changing. So I think when we talk about having it all is subjective. It's up to you to decide what your all is. What is it to you that you feel is important at the stage of life that you are in? One thing I have found, everyone, is the more I have invested in my career, the more I have had leverage. The more I have built my name as Olivia, then when it comes to negotiations with clients or employers, I have found I have more leverage to have more time for other things. So one thing I would say is, for you to have a work-life balance, focus on building your own personal brand. Caritas said, you know, younger lawyers are expecting to maybe come in and work very short hours. It's beginning to change, but I've found that when you prove that you can deliver, when you're the kind of person who you walk the talk, and when you do say X to clients or X to employers that you're going to deliver, you deliver it. If you build and put the time to build your reputation, I have found some of the rewards that come with it is you get better work-life balance. Then you begin to say, I want to leave early. I'm a performer. I can do this. I know I'm able to do this. I think some of the people here who are also employers can maybe attest to this. So there's also that background work that I've had to do to build my reputation, to be able to then negotiate better work-life balance when I've had to have that conversation. Another failing I have had, can I tell you a funny story, everyone, is my mom came to visit, and so I went to be with my little girl in her room for a little while. And I was on my phone catching up with work emails, and I'd told her, Mama, go to bed. And then I look into her baby coat because she was still in these small beds that children use when they're very young. And I saw her pretending to be on a laptop like me. And she said, no, mommy, I'm working. If she was 2 or 3, and I thought to myself, this is what she knows of mommy. Mommy is always working. So her excuse for not going to bed when I'm coming to check her in the room is she's there. I'm working. Mommy, I'm working. Which is what I'm always saying to her. Mommy, I'm working. Mommy, I'm working. That made me want to redefine what success meant to me. And though I would be a hard worker, what I said to myself is then, for me, having it all is being present. We talk a lot about work-life balance. We talk very little about being present in the moment. Sometimes the events you'll miss if you're a mom like me, maybe the events you'll be able to miss, but then you decide, what are the non-negotiables? Is it for me doing homework and being there for the golden hour of homework is important? That's what I'm saying. The definition keeps changing. But another thing we don't always talk about, when we talk about work-life balance, as women, we tend to think of having balance for others. I had to take some time off because I was unwell last year and I'm still recovering. And it reminded me that I've always gone into this thing of I need work-life balance to be there for others, but we also need to be there for ourselves. So when we have this conversation on work-life balance, how's your mental health? How is your physical health? Are you working out? Are you taking care of yourself so that you're able to live out your purpose? Enough said, Hafsa. Can I let the other wonderful women comment on that? And I hope there are jokes that will be shared because I have shared immediately.
Yeah. Okay, I would also like to remind the attendees, they can ask their questions in the Q&A section, and then I will read it later on to our speakers. So Ms. Caritas, if you have any comment with regard to if women can have it all, and what is it?
Yes, thank you, Hafsa. On my side, I think all who have already give us tips have to work to have the all. We don't need to choose. For me, I've never think that you have to choose between responsibilities. And I've never think that being a mom and working and being active professionally were mutually exclusive. No, it's a chance. It's a chance to have those responsibilities, all these responsibilities, it's a chance. You take this, you decide this is a really good for you, and you just, it will be just a question of your organization of your life. Because you can, when your kids maybe are doing homework, for yourself, you will go and do your job at home with your laptop, or maybe thinking strategies. But for me, we are not victims. I don't like when women lawyers are considered themselves as victims of the situation of being mom, because I have 4 kids, and I'm very, I was very, I think I was very present in the always life, the daily life. I remember when I was a council member, we used to have so many, so a big budget for EALS. So we have to travel from a country to another. I was very near to them, to my kids, than when I'm in Bujumbura. Because I have to follow, I have to call the professors, I have to call themselves evening, to do homework with them on phones. So I think this is a question of informing your mindset that this is your job and you have to do it excellently. If you do things, your job excellently and other responsibilities, the excellence comes like an attitude to be all the time, and you do things excellently. You manage to do things excellently. That's what, for me, yes, we can have all. If we decide to do, we'll have all, because it's our decision. And we have what I like to tell women, it's not because you are doing homework with your kids that the men lawyers are taking advantages on you by working when you are doing this. No, they're taking beers. Maybe maybe they're making networking, but now you decide yourself, as you cannot do it evening, you do it tomorrow, the day after, during breakfast. This is how you organize your life. And this is a chance, because make sure that this lady who doesn't have a kid spend time, this is the world, it's like this, spend many times of thinking how to have a kid. So you have just to organize yourself.
Okay, thank you very much, Ms. Nyonzima. Before I invite another speaker to comment on that, members, you may notice that we have a poll question. We would like you to have feedback on this session. Kindly, please vote so that we do better next time. What areas should we improve and things like that. So we would appreciate if you take your time to do the vote. Sarah, you have any comment on that one? Yeah,
Yes.
I see you're very ready.
Thank you, Hafsa.
Yes.
I am. So I would like to emphasize on the first point that I had given, the first tip on knowing yourself, being aware, which calls for assessment of you as a person and where you are in your career. I believe when you thoroughly do this exercise, you will be able, you will not in your life again fall victim to the comparison trap. Because when you are aware of where you are in your life, what you want to do at that particular time, where you are going, then you set your priorities. And when you set those priorities at that particular time, you are having it all. Am I making sense, Hafsa? At
Yes,
least to you,
yes.
I can see you. Yes.
Yes.
Having it all is contextual. What I am having my all at this particular time in my life, for the choices that I have made, for my, the position that I am, and you, Hafsa, perhaps you are having it all, for the context in which you are. And once you are aware of this, you need to keep on reminding yourself every time and be, so that you don't fall victim of comparing yourself. I can't compare myself with Madam Caritas. She has 30 years of experience in legal practice. I have just started my own practice, and I call it a legal consultancy. I started June last year amidst COVID, So I really am having it all. I have made some self-assessment. I am aware of what are the opportunities that surround me at this particular time, and ideally, you should be able also to plan. If you're aware, then these are the opportunities that I have. These are my limitations at this moment. It's a big difference. There's a big difference of being frustrated. Each time you're frustrated, go back to tip number 1. Who am I? Why am I here? Where am I going? What do I want to do? If this is what I want to do, what are the shortcomings right now, and what action must I take? And from that, you know what? You have your why. And your why is very, very important. If you feel frustrated, if you are falling in the comparison trap, go back to tip number 1, self-assessment. And by this, statement, I wish we could we could try to tone down, that when we have discussions as women, we usually like to throw our gender card. I'm a woman and I have kids and I can't make this meeting on time. If you've made some self-assessment, you understand you're a woman, you have kids, and you have a corporate job. So this is the opportunity that you have right now, and you want that management position. So you've made the assessment, you realize you will have to juggle the role. You make a plan of juggling for the role, get the necessary help, take the actions, cut the pep talk of why you are late for the meeting. If you are late, fine. Yeah. Say, excuse me, I am late. I'll try to be early next time. I had a hurdle, and then go back and go back to the table on self-assessment and set a plan for achieving, for being what you want to be. And at that particular time, because you are aware, you don't have to go through the frustration of you are late or you are too early or you are, if it is too competitive according to your personality, because we are also cut from different cloth. There's the career assessment and there's the personality assessment. Go back to your personality assessment and check what must you improve. Maybe this is too much for you, and it is okay if it is too much for you, because you are you cannot be Hafsa. And then change the pattern. Create a pattern that will work for you best. And so anyway, to cut the long story short, for me, having it all is contextual. Having it all as a 36-year-old practicing young woman who just started their own practice is very different from having it all as a 36-year-old woman who is an in-house counsel and maybe she wants to take the CEO job. So I think everything is contextual, and the key point as we progress through our career lives is not to fall into the comparison trap, to be aware all the time, and most importantly, to always remember our why.
Thank you very much, Sarah. So I am not going to ask Ms. Baingana to comment on this. I feel like almost everything is already covered. And I see a lot of questions that have been asked in a Q&A have also been answered, even though I would like to read this one and have some views from the speakers, any of the speakers. Sometimes Niyukuri Francois is saying, sometimes women underestimate themselves, especially in the event of elections. So what needs to be done to further encourage women lawyers to become leaders? That one. Ms. Baingana, perhaps you have any comment with that one?
Hafsa, can you read the question again, please?
Yes. Niyukuri Francois is saying, sometimes women underestimate themselves, especially in the event of election. So what needs to be done to further encourage women lawyers to become leaders? What needs to be done to encourage women lawyers to be leaders?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so one of the things that I really think are very important is to start with self-confidence. Self-confidence. I had said this in my presentation earlier. Let's be confident in who we are, in who God has created us to be. Let's remember that we have what it takes. If a man can run for office, if anybody can run for office, you can run for office. And more so, we have been gifted, like everyone else has been talking about the different roles that we occupy as women. We are multitaskers naturally. We have that advantage over men. So one of the disadvantages of women is that lack of self-confidence, that lack of belief in ourselves. Sometimes it's from the way we have been brought up. It's from comments that we've had. it's from families where boys have been given more opportunities and been given, you know, a chance to grow and to believe in themselves, and girls have sort of been left behind. But the key to success, the key to being and achieving what we need to achieve is really self-confidence. That by believing that I can do this, I can do this, and I have been gifted to do this. If somebody else can do it, I can do it. Self-confidence, believing in yourself, and having your own flavor, like I said. Don't be intimidated by anybody. Don't be intimidated by anybody. I don't know if I gain I have tried to be confident as I go along. I don't know if I can credit the fact that I have 10 sisters and I have been surrounded by all these wonderful, powerful women who have, you know, had this attitude of I can do this. Every woman should have that attitude of I can do this. If there's an election, put your best foot forward. And what is success at the end of the day? Have I achieved everything I set myself to do? Am I happy as I go along? I always like to say, was I intentional with whatever I did, however small it was? If it was to raise children, was I intentional? Did I put everything I knew at the time? If it's with my office, did I take on what I could handle? You know, we always like to take on as much as we can, but how about reducing it and doing excellent work and being happy as you do it? Are you happy? Are you confident? Do you believe in yourself? That's what I can say.
Yes, thank you very much, Miss Maggie Baingana. So I see, as I said before, I see a lot of questions has already been responded directly. If there is any chance that there are some questions that have not been attended, the question will be shared directly. The question will be shared directly to the speakers, and they will respond to you through emails, because time is not in our good side. So I see we are approaching the end of our webinar, and therefore I would like to call upon panelists to give us their closing slot. We'll start with Olivia very briefly, please. Welcome.
I just want to say to all the women who are listening, we can't see you in terms of the video, but we can't wait for your success. And we hope that you plant the seeds in other women to reach for their goals, support them, just the way we've come and poured our time and our resources. Let's encourage other women around us and make sure they reach their goals. I talked about getting inspiration from African women. I'm glad Maggie talked about that. Caritas, Maggie, many of the women here are just inspiring me. I came to teach and I've learned so much. So do unto others as you'd have them do unto you. Please, let's help other women out there. The women who couldn't make it for this presentation, if you have a best friend, a cousin who's a lawyer, why don't you, it's not even about promoting us who are speaking, but help them out. Tell them what you learned and let's continue this work. Happy Women's Day in advance.
Thank you very much. Ms. Caritas Nionzima, please welcome.
Okay, thank you, Hafsa. Unfortunately, we have to
Yes.
stop here.
Yeah.
Yes, I just want to tell all women to love each other and to be and to work in solidarity. For the last question of these particularly elections, when there are elections, all men are behind men. But we are the population of women in Africa, especially, we are more than men. But we cannot be together. We cannot work with in solidarity to have to be to have a super lady to put her behind us, in front of us. So I think we need to work. We need to train women, lawyers who are we are very intelligent. So we have to take the lead for being the models of others. That is my last word.
Thank you very much, Ms. Caritas Nionzima. I would also like to welcome Ms. Maggie Baingana to say some few words.
Yeah, in conclusion, I always say don't take yourself too seriously. If you can have fun, please have fun. I, for one, will choose a place where we can go and laugh, hang out, and have fun as I do my job. Don't take yourself too seriously. Life is short. At the end of your day, at the end of your life, when you're on your deathbed, you will not regret all those briefs that you did not submit on time, but you regret all the missed opportunities, the memories that were not made, and the words that you did not live up to. So let your word be your bond, have fun as you go, and enjoy each and every step of the way. It's a journey. Nobody can say, I have arrived. So make sure you're happy and having fun now, right now.
Sarah, thank you, Miss Maggie. Sarah, please welcome.
Thank you. Before I give my concluding remarks, I like to comment just on the issue of elections. I would like to advise all the women in here who are considering leadership positions. Don't go to an election because you are a woman. I think you should go for a leadership position and go for election if you've assessed yourself as a person, you've assessed your career, where you are, and you have decided at that particular point in your journey, this is the right thing to do, you have the right skill set, and the position is an opportunity, and you are ready for it. And when you finally get in the race, don't say, I'm here because I'm a woman, and don't throw a woman card. Sell your why. And if we approach these things that way, especially with the Law Society's election, I think we will do much, much better than going to an election to, and expecting sympathy because, you are a woman, or you will appear to be bolder than the rest of the women. It's not about that. It's about who you are at that particular time, where you want to go, what you have to offer, and what is your why. And for my concluding remarks, I might sound so wise. I've not always been wise. I want to recognize all the help and support that I've received over the years in my career journey from the women practitioners in Tanzania. There are many of them. Some of them are attending this webinar. I have learned a lot from them. Some things happened as an accident. Some positions, for example, that I took in the society were maybe just an accident, but they were a big opportunity to learn. What am I saying? Now I've reached a stage in my life where I'm thinking, oh, you actually have to consciously make a conscious effort to assess yourself and to be aware of your circumstances and be conscious as you make your choices. It has been a journey, like Maggie has said. It's a journey of self-discovery. And in this journey, there is no wrong. That wrong is a lesson. That is a mindset issue. Everywhere where you go and you think, oh, this did not turn out as I expected it to turn out, then go back to the assessment, meditate, ask yourself, what are the lessons that I'm taking here? Maybe my why was not genuine. Maybe, maybe it was not the right timing. Maybe I underestimated the requirements for whatever I was going after. Take the lesson and plot again for the new move. So yes, meditate, take the assessment very seriously. This is a journey, so there is no wrong and right. There's actually lessons and improving and improvement. Thank you, Hafsa, and my fellow presenters and ELS for giving me this opportunity. And thank you all the participants. I see there's 108 online. That's a huge audience. Thank you all for hanging around with us and paying attention to what we've been telling.
Thank you very much, Sarah. I have to begin by thanking you all for joining our Women Lawyers webinar series, special edition. Thank you also to the speakers who are kind enough to accept our invitation and spare time from their busy schedule to join us today. And finally, I want to thank the people who made this webinar possible, primarily David Sigano from EALS and also the Secretariat on itself. I'm also going to use this opportunity to thank myself for sitting in this chair. Clearly, I positioned myself to get into this position. And now I have a chance to moderate, to network with great people, and also, you know, improving my speaking skills. And I hope that the majority of us here are going to leave this webinar with full of lessons to bring back to their business and their careers in general. And also, please do not forget to share with other women and your colleagues. Together we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you very much. And I wish you a very nice evening.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Okay.
I think, Hafsa, did you mention you'll send the resources we have provided to them?
Yes.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hafsa.
All right, bye.
Bye, everybody.